scrimmage for the weekend? I guess what were some of your main takeaways about your side of the ball?
On our side of the ball, what our plan was we were going to play very basic stuff so everybody could have a chance to operate. We were just evaluating technique, effort, communication, and then see who could tackle. For the most part, I think it was pretty good. We definitely got some things to clean up. We definitely have some people in depth charts shuffle around a little bit, but it was just a good evaluation tool for our coaches on defense.
Is that a pretty important stage as far as that separation from the depth chart? I mean, is this kind of going forward, you base a lot of reps for the rest of camp?
Yeah, I mean, so far it's been a pretty flowing depth chart, if you will. We've just been kind of giving guys reps with the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s, whether they deserved them or not, just to kind of see. And that was kind of the first time we're making the evaluation saying, hey, now we kind of know where he belongs. We also got to see, some of those guys, if they're going with the 2s, they're going against the 2, and maybe they look better. Yesterday was kind of a day where we got to see who we thought were the 1s go against the 1s and see if they really should be there. So I think it was very important for us.
Has anybody, especially in those very top groups, really emerged and said they've really taken a hold of their position?
I don't think there's a guy right now that we're saying you're irreplaceable. Right. You're a 1. Have a good day. There's none of those guys out there right now, but there's definitely a few guys moving to the top. We definitely, I think, know who at least the 1s and 2s are now, so we can really concentrate on getting them reps and really figure it out before the first game comes. I think we got another scrimmage on Friday, and I think that'll kind of solidify it. After that second scrimmage, when we kind of get the depth chart settled, that's where I'll kind of start making decisions, and our group will start making decisions. So after that one, you'll be able to ask me, and we should be able to kind of tell you how it's going to fall.
Who had a good scrimmage on that side?
A couple guys, popped to mind. I mean, Carlos Davis, I thought did a nice job. I think the three inside linebackers, Mo and Dedrick and Will, all played pretty well. And Colin Miller's coming along and inside really, really well. Luke Gifford's starting to come back to his form, and I think he did a nice job. Ferg gives great effort, but there was a lot of guys that played really well.
You've been bringing in a lot of former black shirts. Mike Rucker on the first day, and then Mr. Peter came in. I know Coach McBride was here a lot during the spring. What's kind of your thinking behind that? Why is that important to you to connect these guys with the past of the black shirts?
Well, I think, I've said before, I think the black shirts is the greatest tradition in all of college football, and it's not mine. It's Coach McBride started it, and those guys built it and are ushering it into the new generation. So I think it's important for us to embrace the past a little bit. The other thing was when Grant and Jason, like they so eloquently stated, when they were here, the bar was set pretty high already. They knew how to operate, and I think it's not quite like that right now, and I want those guys to get a taste of what that standard is, what the bar is supposed to be, how you're supposed to act when you're a black shirt, because I don't think the level of the upperclassmen and those type of things has been here the last few years. So I think it's important to get guys that were there when they were operating at the highest level to kind of verbalize it to our guys.
Have you seen the players kind of embrace that, kind of get the message that those guys are trying to send?
Yeah, I think they've embraced it. I think there was a lot of shocked faces maybe in there, maybe that once they hear it from they hear it from coaches all the time, that's just what coaches say. But when former players are setting the standard, are verbalizing what it should look like, I think it's almost a shock that, man, they're saying what the coaches are saying. We really do need to do that. So I think they are embracing it. We've got a ways to go to live up to what Grant and Jason were talking about, but I think they're starting to get there.
What was the atmosphere like when Grant and Jason were talking? Did you kind of feel like it was something?
Yeah, the atmosphere, you could tell as soon as they got up on stage, the atmosphere, there was a electricity in the air, there was a tension in the room a little bit when the whole group was in there, and then we let the offense kind of go in their merry way, and we shut the door and really got down to business, and then it became very high intensity. I mean, it was like we were practicing. The way they were talking, the way that they were describing things, it was like we were out in the practice field. So it was great for our kids to understand, we're telling them it's on the line. It's always on the line in the meeting room, in the stretch. And those guys, you could tell it was on the line. Those guys, when they were presenting to our team, it was on the line for them. And I think everything for those guys is on their line in their life, whatever they're doing. I think that was really cool for the kids to see.
any of that translate the next day in practice or the scrimmage?
The next day, I actually talked to Grant and Jason the next day, and that was probably our most intense practice on defense. Obviously there's a difference between coaches and players, but there was we saw some shoving matches, and we saw a little skirmish, a little fight go on the next day, but guys were really flying around the next day, and I think it was probably direct relation to their talk that they gave.